ऑपरेट, ऑपरेटेड, ऑपरेटर, ऑपरेशन, ऑपरेटिव, इनऑपरेटिव, पोर्टर, पोर्ट्रेज, इंपोर्टर, एक्सपोर्टर, इंपोर्टिंग, एक्सपोर्टिंग, प्रोफर, प्रोफर्ड, प्रोफर, प्रेफर, प्रेफर्ड, प्रेफरेंस, प्रेफरेंशियल, प्रेफरेबल, प्रोवाइड, प्रोवाइडेड, प्रोविडेंस, प्रोवाइडर, इम्प्रोविडेंस, परवेड, परवेडिड, परवेसिव, परवेजन, परसिक्यूट, परसिक्यूटेड, परसिक्यूशन, परसिक्यूटर, प्रोसिक्यूट, प्रोसिक्यूटेड, प्रोसिक्यूशन, प्रोसिक्यूटर, पर्सन, पर्सोनेट, पर्सोनेटेड, पर्सोनेशन, इम्पर्सोनेशन, इम्पर्सोनेटर, पर्सन, पर्सोनेज, स्पेलिंग का अंतर है भाई, PERSON है उसमें पहले वाले में, इसमें PARSON है। और नोट डाउन कर देता हूं ताकि आसानी रहेगी। पी बोला इन आर हाफ, क्या पढ़ेंगे इसको? ऑपरेट, ऑपरेटेड, क्या बन जाएगा ये? ऑपरेटर, ऑपरेशन, ऑपरेटिव, इनऑपरेटिव। PORTER, पोर्टर, P बनाएंगे और R की डबलिंग कर देंगे ऑन द लाइन, क्या पढ़ेंगे इसको? पोर्टर। क्या बन जाएगा? पोर्ट्रेज, R की डबलिंग करके एज लगा दिया, MP और R डाउनवर्ड, इंपोर्टर। XP और R की डबलिंग, इसी को पढ़ेंगे एक्सपोर्टर। MP R हाफ और NG, क्या बन जाएगा? इंपोर्टिंग, एक्सपोर्टिंग में सीधा एक्सपोर्टिंग। प्रोफर, PR अबोलाइन और FR ऑल्टरनेट फॉर्म में, इसको हाफ कर देना FR को, क्या बन जाएगा? प्रोफर्ड। PR, FR, R अपवर्ड, इसको पढ़ेंगे हम प्रोफर। प्रेफर, PR, F काउक और R अपवर्ड। प्रेफर्ड हाफ कर देंगे, प्रेफरेंस NS लगा देंगे अपवर्ड R में, प्रेफ रेंशियल इशल, एन प्लस इशल। प्रेफरेबल, प्रोवाइड, पी आर वी और डी पूरा। प्रोवाइडेड हाफ हो जाएगा या कट कर सकते हो। डेंस क्या बन जाएगा, प्रोविडेंस। प्रोवाइडर, इम्प्रो, फिर विडेंस, इम्प्रोविडेंस। प्रोवाइड, परवेड, पी आर वी हाफ, डॉट लगा लेना। परवेडिड, पर वे क्या हो जाएगा परवेडिड के बाद में, सिव, वी है भाई ये आगे तक का, परवेसिव। परवेशन, एक वर्ड आता है पर सी क्यूट, और एक वर्ड होता है प्रो, SECU, ठीक, प्रोसिक्यूट और परसिक्यूट। पहले परसिक्यूट देख लेंगे, पी आर अपवर्ड SKU हाफ, परसिक्यूट। अगर प्रोसिक्यूट आएगा लाइन से ऊपर बनेगा, पी आर के हुक के साथ बनेगा, प्रोसिक्यूट, परसिक्यूट, परसिक्यूटेड, प्रोसिक्यूटेड, परसिक्यूशन, प्रोसिक्यूशन, परसिक्यूटर, प्रोसिक्यूटर, डबलिंग कर देंगे। पर्सन, PRS और N, और एक होता है पार्शन, पर्सन, PRS और N, पर्सन, पर्सन, पर्सोनेज, पर्सोनेज, परसो, पर्सन, पर्सोनेट, एन को हाफ कर दो, पर्सोनेटेड, पर्सोनेशन, इम्पर्सोनेशन, इम्पर्सोनेटर। देखो, ऑपरेट, ऑपरेटेड, ऑपरेटर, ऑपरेशन, ऑपरेटिव, इनऑपरेटिव, पोर्टर, पोर्ट्रेज, इंपोर्टर, एक्सपोर्टर, इंपोर्टिंग, एक्सपोर्टिंग, प्रोफर, प्रोफर्ड, प्रोफर, प्रेफर, प्रेफर्ड, प्रेफरेंस, प्रेफरेंशियल, प्रेफरेबल, प्रोवाइड, प्रोवाइडेड, प्रोविडेंस, प्रोवाइडर, improvidence, pervade, pervaded, pervasive, pervasion, persecute, persecuted, persecution, persecutor, prosecute, prosecuted, prosecution, prosecutor, person, personate, personated, personation, impersonation, impersonator, person, personage। डिक्टेशन लिखेंगे कॉमन वर्ड से, पार्ट 2D से, हाई और लो पे। Start it. Sir, I thank you for allowing me to make my special mention for setting up a Supreme Court at Nagpur. While inaugurating the first phase of the ambitious e-courts project, interlinking of all the courts across the country, on 9th July, our former president envisaged change in the face of judiciary within the next 5 years. He advised the Supreme Court administration for fuller utilization of national e-governance and visualized a scenario of a citizen filing a civil dispute case using national ID card and getting justice within 2 weeks. Simultaneously, the Chief Justice of India also assured liquidation of huge arrears within a foreseeable future, stabilizing evening courts, introducing plea bargaining system, setting up fast track courts, etc. undoubtedly contribute towards liquidation of arrears at district level. Let us also make a beginning from the Supreme Court of India functioning at Delhi, involving litigants whose facing harrowing time chasing the apex court for getting justice by their constant shuttling from four corners of our caste country to Delhi. Therefore, if a bench of Supreme Court could be established at Nagpur, it will go a long way towards not only liquidating the pending arrears but also assuring quicker delivery of justice in new cases. The UPA government, under the inspiring guidance of its chairperson, in consultation with the Supreme Court and other legal luminaries, may initiate a time-bound process so that a Supreme Court bench could be established at Nagpur. A recent UN report and the Government of India have already identified this city as a future metropolis. Besides its central location, its growing civic communication, aviation and power infrastructure would admirably fit in for setting up a bench of the Supreme Court of India at Nagpur. Sir, when I went through certain provision and clauses of the bill, is that the earning capacity has been made a criterion, because a person may have a property but he or she may not have an income from that property. This provision is there in the Insolvency Act also. An insolvent is considered to be a person depending on how much acre he possesses and what is the income he derives from the property. That is the reason why in clause they say maintain himself from his own earning or out of the property owned by him. Therefore, the bill recognizes even if the property is there but there is no income, then he is bound to be maintained. So that is one of the best drafting of the clauses. I congratulate the Honorable Minister for the same. The relative of a senior citizen is also bound to maintain. While a senior citizen is defined as a person above 60 years of age, it is good that in the definition clause parents, father or mother are defined irrespective of the age. That is one of the welcome steps which the bill provides. Normally, either in the disposal of cases in the courts or in passing orders even by the Supreme Court and the High Court, it takes months together. Sir, with regard to the appellate tribunal and also the tribunal, there are two apprehensions that I have. One is with regard to the powers conferred on the subdivisional magistrate at the lower level, and the other is with regard to the power of appeal conferred on the officer not less than the rank of a district magistrate, namely collector. Sir, the revenue officials already have several other duties to perform. They not only have a lot of revenue works, but also if the minister visits or some government functionary visits or there are some government functions, they cannot be seen at the office at all. If such is the condition, I ask some questions to you. If a senior citizen goes to the collector's office, the collector won't be there because he will be busy on other duty. I want to know whether the senior citizen who goes for an inquiry again must come there, wait and then attend the hearing. This problem may arise if the powers are conferred on the revenue authorities. I request the minister to kindly consider whether this power can be conferred on any other authority, not necessarily courts, because courts also take their name. However, in courts there is a fixed time. The courts sit at 10:30, and if the hearing is fixed with an outer limit, definitely a person can go to the court at a particular time. They can notify somebody, they can also wait there, and then this case can be disposed of provided an outer limit is prescribed. Sir, this is a mockery and an assault on one of the fundamental features of our democracy, that is the independence of the judiciary. In the last 65 years, we amended many sections because with the passage of time, so many developments had taken place in the electoral process. The constituency also has become big. The number of polling booths also has increased. When the Principal Act was enacted at that time, the country's size was 35 crores. ये 843 वर्ड है, 100 की स्पीड है, फ्लक्चुएशन 5 से 7 वर्ड अपसाइड में है, 80 पे लिखेंगे, कौन वर्ड के सेकंड 2D पार्ट का, ये 5 नंबर है, 6 नंबर लिखेंगे आप. रेडी, स्टार्ट इट. इसके कंटेंट पे फोकस कर लेंगे, काफी अच्छा कंटेंट है ये. स्टार्ट इट. Sir, I congratulate the Minister for providing old age homes to the senior citizens, which is one of the welcome steps. The state governments must be asked to immediately start these old age homes in the districts immediately. Monitoring committees should be formed with elected representative and other functionaries, just as we have vigilance committees at the district level with MPs as chairman. The NGOs are doing a wonderful job at many places and in many areas, but at times this fund could also be misused. Therefore, it would be better if there is some kind of a vigilance or committee so that the money intended for the old and the deserted parents reaches them. Sir, one of the salient features of this bill is clause 23. Normally, a dispute arises in a family over poverty. The sons try to impress upon or coerce or even threaten parents to give away the property which they possess and then gets settlement in their favor. Clause 23(1) is a very novel step where the obligation to provide maintenance to parents is attached with the property. Even if the parents gift the property in favor of the sons, daughters, or anybody else, the obligation shall run along with the property. That is a wonderful idea. There is an obligation that if a person receives property by way of gift or settlement, if he fails to honor that commitment, fails to honor the obligation, fails to maintain the parents or senior citizens, then the gift will become null and void, because it will really amount to fraud for getting that property. That is a very novel section and I really appreciate it. Then there is clause which provides that the state government shall prescribe a comprehensive section plan for providing protection of life and property of senior citizen. Through the standing committee and other bodies, even though many letters are written to the state governments, most of them do not reply. Therefore, it would be better if the minister calls for a meeting of all the concerned ministers of the states and have a time-bound program, because caring for and attending to the senior citizens of the country is the foremost duty of the state governments and the central government. Therefore, unless we take the initiative, it would just be another law in the statute book, and without proper enforcement, it won't help the beneficiaries. Some push and involvement is required here. We have to associate and involve ourselves for the successful implementation of all the legislations passed in this august house. We bring in many laws and we try to protect every section of the society. We try to bring in many statutes to see to it that the beneficiaries are really benefited. But unfortunately, because of various factors, this country, because of various impediments, court cases, and several other things, the intended beneficiaries are not able to get the benefits, and the law remains only on the statute book. This act should also not meet the same fate. Therefore, I would humbly request the Honorable Minister that it is implemented in letter and spirit so that these beneficiaries get the real benefits. But if it is a revenue official, then there will be a problem because so many acts are conferring power on them. The Board of Revenue has been abolished. This power has been conferred on the commissioners in Tamil Nadu, and there are many provisions in other states. These officials have several duties to perform, and we can't blame them. Sir, particularly when we say that a senior citizen should be taken care of and protected, and there is a provision in this bill that they should be given a special attention in queues, hospital facilities, beds, etc. Is it fair on our part to ask the senior citizens to wait in the collectorate or the SDO office for months together or weeks together? Definitely, they cannot pass the order within a particular period. Similarly, while disposing of the application within 90 days and depositing the maintenance within 30 days, in clause 16 for filing an appeal, they have prescribed 60 days, and in the proviso it is said conferring power on the appellate authority if there is a sufficient cause shown, the appeal can be entertained. Here comes the problem. Once you allow this, there will be a problem of filing an appeal after 1 year of courses with a petition to condone the delay, unlike the Rent Control Act, because Section 5 of the Limitation Act will apply if you fail to restrict the period of appeal. In the case also, the purpose of this act will not be served fully. Now we are more than a billion. We are working on the same act. At that point of time, electronic media was not there. Now there is an electronic media. At that point of time, so much of print media was not there. Telephones or communication systems were not so strong. 834 वर्ड्स है, 80 की स्पीड है, फ्लेक्सेशन 5 से 7 वर्ड अपसाइड है, कौन वर्ड के पार्ट 2D का 6 नंबर है। आप सॉफ्टवेयर पे भी टाइप कर सकते हो, नोट पे भी टाइप कर सकते हो, दोनों चॉइस है आपकी।